Ahoy hoy ladies and gentlemen, Marco here, and this video is long overdue. Today I will be doing a book review on Jack London's White Fang, and just to prove that I do own the book and somehow did not illegally obtain this, I have an image of the book in the video, so briefly check that out. So the way this video is going to work, and probably every video that I do on book reviews, I'm going to have four criteria. I'm going to have character development, plot, pacing, and general charm. Now, each of the four criteria will be on a scale of 1 to 10. Now, 1 to 10 is subjective. That means anything I say here is my opinion, and if you don't like it, sorry. Oh well. But it may give you an idea of what you may or may not like about the book. So either way, I hope it is beneficial. So character development has 1, 5, and 10 as major marker points in the rating. 1 stands for what is this nonsense? Basically saying that the character has gone through some level of development that doesn't quite make sense. The plot, the setting, whatever, just does not work with how the character is becoming what he or she is becoming. 5 makes sense but seems awkward. Well, how the character is developing makes sense. However, the way he goes about it probably doesn't, or at the pace he goes at it. We'll see. Well, I'll tell you something more about that when I start rating. And 10, natural and smooth. There is no questioning this. This happens it happens consistently. It happens without issue. And you cannot say anything negative about the character development. Plot. Again, 1, 5, and 10. 1 stands for boring. I'm sure that's self-explanatory. 5, mediocre, same, and compelling. Well, if it's compelling, you're probably going to want to read it, at least for the plot. Pacing, haphazard, at 1, meaning that there is no consistency in how fast this book moves. There may be segments of very long segments of no progress, or there may be very few segments of no progress, but they're just strewn throughout the book. And then there are moments of progress where those two are strewn throughout the book, and there's just no real pattern to it. And so the pacing of the book makes no sense. Decent. There is some level of pattern to the book. It moves along and has some periods of stagnation, which can be good or bad. And then there's finally consistent, where yes, if there are periods of stagnation, there are reasons for those periods of stagnation, and they happen after certain points in the book. But everything else is progress, or the general pattern is so there, it's so obvious that you understand how far you need to go into the book in order to get to the next point that you will be interested in. And then there's general charm. This is the most subjective section of the book, or of the rating platform that I'm using. 1 is repulsive. I don't want to read this book. I'm done with it. 5, attractive. I like this book. It makes sense. I may want to read it. Give it a shot at least. And then 10, addictive. You can't put this book down, and you will probably read it over and over again. So for character development, I gave it a 6. Now, here's the thing about the character development in this book. Everything White Fang, the main character, goes through makes total sense. The situations he goes through work out very well. They make sense for him and what he is going through. However, the way Jack London writes this book, he constantly refers back to different segments in the book that may have happened at the very beginning. So he breaks the pattern in which he is developing the character, that is White Fang, and it takes away from it quite a bit. It is a little less, it's not so much awkward as it is just very blatant in why he is developing, because Jack London explains everything to you. As for pacing, I gave it a 7. Now, the thing is, again, Jack London goes back and refers to things at the very beginning of the book very frequently, and that interrupts the pacing quite a bit. Although, other than that, Jack London keeps the ball rolling. Fang is constantly going through different situations, and he is constantly processing more and more information and growing as a character. And that, along with character development, keeps the pace going very well. But again, Jack London has that little habit of referring to information that occurred at the beginning of the book, if not from the middle, if not from a few pages ago. But he keeps doing it, and it takes away from the total value of the pacing quite a bit. That's why I gave it a 7. I gave plot a 7 as well, simply because the story is interesting. It is about a dog, a wolf dog. Hopefully I didn't spoil anything there. And more than likely, as long as you're semi-a dog person or don't dislike dogs, you're going to want to give this book a shot. It is more than decent. The things Fang goes through makes for a very good story. However, and this will be a part of the review I'll get into later, the book isn't written at a very high level, or it isn't a very difficult read, so it doesn't require a lot of processing or emotional processing to get through the sections where Fang is achieving something or getting through a situation. So again, I gave it a 7, and it has room for improvement, but overall it wasn't too bad either. As for general charm, there isn't much to say about this one, but it is a story about a dog. And for the most part, stories about dogs do very well, and they often sell in stores, they sell in the theaters, they make money, and I don't believe this is any different. It is a good story. It's something that younger readers may enjoy, even an older reader who hasn't gone through a story like this in quite some time. It is enjoyable. It's something you can read possibly 2 or 3 times. I may read it 2 or 3 times in my lifetime. I rarely read a book twice. I think I've only read one book 3 or 4 times. And that one I may get to at a later date. So I give the general charm of Fang an 8. Overall, I give this book a 7 out of 10. It is not a bad read. It has a Lexile level of 630, which is a very low ranking book. It essentially means that if I check here, 630, it is essentially a 3rd grader's reading level. It is a very easy read. The only reason why it took me so long is I haven't read in quite a while, and the pacing in which I read has slowed down immensely from when I was very little. But I did finish it pretty quickly. Nevertheless, it wasn't difficult to understand, and if you're trying to get into reading, this isn't a bad book to take on. It has a good storyline, good plot, good pacing, and it has a general charm about it that you can't really fake. You know, it works. So, not a bad story to read, and I would recommend it. Remember, this is Jack London's Jack London's Fang. And one more note. Yeah, I see that little watermark on the bottom of the screen. I may have mentioned it earlier in this video. I'm not quite sure. I'm not too terribly happy about that it's there. I cannot get rid of it, but I can like white it out. You know, just blend it in with something else so it's not there. But that's a little awkward. But nevertheless, I use this app. It may as well get the credit it deserves. So it was this video was created using Crazy Movie Maker 2. I hope I got that right. Yes, it was created by Crazy Video Maker 2. Either way, you can see it there. It's a Windows Store app. It works. It's great. I like it. Have fun with it. All right. Thank you for your time, and have a great day.